When I was a kid, one of my favorite memories was making peanut butter cookies with my mom. And one of my favorite parts about it was the fact that I could take a fork and make those crisscrosses on each cookie. And then once they came out of the oven, my mom would give me the sifter filled with confectioner sugar and I would dust them all over the cookies. And it was one of my favorite childhood memories. Now I've graduated to an adult peanut butter cookie. They're crisp on the outside, they are packed with peanut flavor, and they have a nice soft and chewy texture. So let's get started. Make sure you tear out your scale. And I'm going to use 7.5 ounces of all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. You always want to dip and sweep. I like to use the handles of my measuring spoons. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of table salt. So now we're just going to whisk this together. Let's get to our wet ingredients. I have tared out my scale, and we're going to start with brown sugar. Just 10.5 ounces of dark brown sugar. A lot of recipes call for packed brown sugar. Our recipe calls for packed brown sugar as well. But again, the scale really comes in handy here because your idea of packed and my idea of packed might be a little different and they might yield slightly different results. Now we're going to add our peanut butter. So I'm using 1 cup of creamy peanut butter, and peanut butter is really important with this recipe. You know, there's chunky peanut butter, there's creamy peanut butter, there's a natural peanut butter. This recipe is really designed to use creamy peanut butter, so don't get tempted to use whatever you have in your pantry. Make sure you have the creamy. So this is an Adjust-A-Cup, another favorite tool of mine, and it's as easy as that. So this is 1 cup of peanut butter, and I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of honey, another baby Adjust-A-Cup. Now I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and now I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. To get the perfect chew, it comes down to saturated fat and unsaturated fat. Our butter is saturated fat and peanut butter is mostly unsaturated fat. And the best ratio is 30% saturated fat to 70% unsaturated fat. And that really will give us the chew. If I had more saturated fat, my cookie would be a lot more short and tender. And I don't want that, I want chewy. Okay, so now we're gonna add 2 eggs. They're gonna add water to the dough, which I'll talk about later. And 2 eggs, and they're both beautiful. Now I'm just gonna whisk this together. You just wanna whisk this until it's thoroughly combined and homogeneous. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I'd be okay with just a spoon right now, but I'm gonna make cookies. Now we're gonna add our dry ingredients. I'm just gonna use a typical folding action to work that flour in without overworking the dough. All right. So our flour is just combined. I'm going to set this aside for a minute, and we're going to move on to the final ingredient, very important ingredient, and that is whole roasted peanuts. So I'm just going to use a 1/2 cup of peanuts, and I'm going to chop them finely. These peanuts are going to add a lot more peanut flavor to our cookies without having to add extra peanut butter. If I added extra peanut butter, that would actually result in a drier cookie. This is going to add peanut flavor and also peanut texture. My peanuts are finely chopped. With a bench scraper, I'm just gonna dump them right into my bowl. Now I'm just gonna stir these peanuts into my cookie dough until they're just combined. Okay, so as I said earlier, adding too much peanut butter can actually make the cookies drier. It may sound counterintuitive, but when you combine water and peanut butter, it seems like they're both wet ingredients, but they're really not. When they combine together, they actually stiffen up. Peanut butter consists of about 50% fat and 25% protein suspended in the fat, along with the carbohydrates. This combination gives peanut butter a stirrable, spreadable texture. The proteins in peanuts have a strong tendency to bind with water, which is why when you have a spoonful of peanut butter, your mouth becomes very dry. When you add water to peanut butter, the peanut proteins bind to the water and clump together. Those microscopic clumps bump into each other when we try to stir the peanut butter, making it stiffer and pasty. Because the protein is holding onto water, there's less free water available in the dough to make it soft and pliable, which is why when you add extra peanut butter to the dough, it becomes very stiff and unmanageable, and it actually results in a very dry, crumbly cookie. Now it's time to portion the dough. I'm using a number 30 portion scoop. As I'm scooping, I am going into the dough and smearing it so I have a flat surface. This is going to ensure that each of the cookies that I scoop are all the same size because I want them to bake at the same rate. This is going to be 24 cookies. If I do have some dough left over at the end, I can take that dough and evenly distribute it amongst all the other dough balls. Okay, the perfect number of cookies, and they're all the same size. So the next step is we're going to take each dough ball and roll it into a ball. Now all I need to do is press each cookie dough ball into a 2-inch diameter round. I've told you before, I love my bench scraper, and I love this one in particular because it actually has measurements on the edge of it. So if you're looking for a bench scraper, look for one that actually has a ruler as part of it. So it's easy to spot check. Once I do one, then I just kind of cruise through and I press them all so that it matches it. I don't hold the ruler up to each one. And this is the part where, when I was a kid, I would take a fork and I would, instead of flattening them with my hand, I would take that fork and make the crisscrosses. If it was a drier cookie, it would hold onto those marks, but this is a soft and chewy cookie, so those marks just go away. So it's okay though. These are the best cookies you'll ever have. So we're baking the cookies in a 350-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm gonna rotate them halfway through. Okay, so it's been about 5-6 minutes and the cookie tray is ready to rotate. Rotating cookies is a very important step to make sure that they bake evenly throughout. Okay, so our second batch of cookies has come out of the oven and they've cooled and they're ready to eat. And I brought in a special person.
Aww.
My mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Erin.
I thought I'd bring you in to try out the cookies.
I would love to.
I know that we always made the old-fashioned ones with the crisscross as a kid, and these, I'm curious what you think of them.
Okay.
You want to help yourself?
Sure.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. They're chewy.
These are delicious.
They're delicious. Thank you.
You can make these for me anytime.
Oh, I thought you'd say that. Okay, so my mother loves them, and you will too, I'm sure of it. So if you want to make the perfect chewy peanut butter cookie, just remember 3 things. Make sure that you use the right peanut butter, make sure that you use the right ratios, and also that you portion your cookies properly so that they're all uniform. So from America's Test Kitchen at home, my mom's favorite chewy peanut butter cookie, that's to die for. Cheers.
Cheers. The best ever. Thank you, Erin.
Gonna wave to the camera?
Hi, America.
Thanks for watching. You can get all the recipes and product reviews from this season and more on our website. That's americastestkitchen.com/TV. Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think? Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello. You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you later. I'll see you later.